we can actually and fundamentally think, say, do, achieve, and become almost anything we want in our lives on the basis of either our inheritance, wealth, riches, possession, power, influence, or because of our genuine talent, originality, authentic power, character, virtue, significance, dignity. But then again, problems, difficulties, hurdles are not going to stop, or they are just not going to cease to exist because of our success over ourselves, because of our talent, skill, knowledge, intelligence, character, wisdom, behavior, authenticity, dignity, and all that. Problems have always been an essential and fundamental part of life, not because they exist necessarily in an outward external manner, because problems cannot be considered to have their own sovereignty, differentiation, independence, because they are all related to and connected with the human mind's existence within ourselves. Because the human mind understands everything, because the human mind has reason, intellect about and within itself, because the human mind is able to interpret and comprehend and interpret, understand everything. So it interprets not only happiness, progress, pleasure in our lives, but it also explains and deciphers problems, difficulties, dangers, miseries, and tragedies and torments as well in one way or another. And that means both freedom, problem, heaven, and justice, liberty, equality, feminism, liberalism are all subjective creations of the human mind. They are all mental phenomena and intellectual properties of the human beings, and they are neither independent nor sovereign nor distinct, but they are very much dependent and reliant upon the human beings around the world, not only for their creation, but also for their sustainment and development into the far future upon the human mind's excellence and prowess, because the human mind's need, necessity, compulsion drove it to create all those vital, fundamental, necessary principles which are now political, which we now just abide by in our lives and conform to, and that includes feminism, liberalism, justice, equality, liberty, freedom, and obviously problems as well in one or another. So obviously we'll have problems. We can become anything in our lives. We can get almost anything done on the basis of our hard work, talent, dignity, perseverance, resilience, etc. But still, problems will continue to exist for as long as we're alive. Because when we are dead, when we are no longer there, then we cannot receive the problems anymore, because their receiver is dead, and that is the human brain. If the human brain can no longer understand anything, then it cannot have any problems either. Problems have to be understood and interpreted, and only the human man can do that. But when we are no longer there, when we are vanished, then problems are also going to vanish, disappear, and fade into nothingness in one way or another. So problems will always